YouTube. Trade. Yeah, not telly. I keep saying telly Tuesday. Trade Tuesday. So the big question here is I'm really riding by the seat of my pants just now. So will you get to see this tonight? I don't know. It's coming up for just after lunchtime. So I suppose it depends on how long I end up making this video, whether I manage to get home, edit it. I don't really edit, you know what I mean? Basically stick the various bits together and then upload it. So I might have made it 7 o'clock. If I'm doing it, well done. Welcome to Trade Tuesday. Done live, without a safety net, on a Tuesday. Kinda if I don't make it back, I'll maybe try and think of another video to do when I get home while this is rendering or whatever the word is. I think it's just because the GoPro is much higher quality than, I don't know. I think I've got it set to 1080. It does 4K, but I don't have a 4K telly, so you know, maybe one day Mad Malco's YouTube channel will make the 4K thing, but I don't really, I'm not really that pushing for it because I just don't think that you really need to see me in better than high definition, really. Yeah, so I got a message last night, no, the night before, no, yesterday morning, I got a message from a guy, Andy, in Troon, saying that do a deal, he wants to swap a Mad Malco t-shirt for a base. So I was like, yeah, that's great, I'll do that. This kind of reminds me of the Trade Tuesday I did for the last season when a guy in Edinburgh was trying to sell the wee mini guitar, and it was like, I'd never met the guy before, and it's like, yeah, was it swap for something or sell for 20 quid, unless you're Mad Malco, in which case you could have it free. So I went. So utilising my extreme Z-class celebrity status for good stuff. Yeah, and also it's a nice wee drive to Troon. Troon is on the west coast of Scotland, the sort of southern half. West coast normally, when you go down at Troon and stuff, it's all kind of sandy beaches and golf courses and stuff. A lovely part of the world. But when someone says west coast to me, I normally think of a bit more norther. When you go up probably only about 20 miles north and you start getting to all the lochs and stuff, that's when you get islands and lochs, whereas down there it's kind of a bit more seasidey. Yeah, so maybe already looking forward to finding something nice to eat. I'd imagine there's going to be a nice fish and chip shop, although I think I've had 2 fish suppers this year already, and I think I only managed 2 last year in total. It's kind of an excuse to go to Troon. Maybe even get some footage of niceness, some views and things. Basically more for the drive. Plus it means I don't need to think of anything for trading. The trading thing's not working as well this time as it did last. I think it was just a fluke with Series 1 when I kind of I decided I was going to do it. I bought a bass a couple of days later, and then I bought a guitar the following week, and then I managed to it gave me 2 weeks to swap each one. This time it's a bit more bitty. Also this time I'd never really started with a YouTube check. I got a payment in, I don't know, around about Christmas, on the 21st of December I think, but because everyone was locked down and stuff, that just got absorbed into whatever money I've got, and I got another payment as well. So I think I'm really looking at earnings, apart from since the last time I did it, of about 120 quid I think. Not really worked in exactly what I've done with that. I did buy 2 Stratocasters a couple of weeks ago, that'd be episode 1, and I sold one of them. I might have swapped the other one with one of my pals, possibly, depending on whether he likes it or not. I'm not really sure. I need to talk to him. I've actually still got one of his other guitars, but he was wanting me to add a Gilmore switch and change a pickup in one of his other guitars. And remember the Dean Flying V I had a couple of weeks ago? It was a sort of candy apple red with all the chrome parts on it. I think he's maybe thinking about swapping that for something, so that could be quite interesting. I really like that guitar, the Dean. I think if I do get the Dean, the plan would be to possibly change the pickups, just purely as an aesthetic thing. No, sorry, it's just a sat nav. We've got roads closed. What the hell is... This lane's closed. The outside 2 lanes are fine. And I don't know. I'm getting worried because it's open lane, closed lane, open lane, closed lane. So as long as I'm in one of the open ones, laughing. Yeah, so I'm going down this is me just going into the centre of town just now. The centre of Glasgow, which has a motorway running through the centre of it, and I always mention the fact that this is the only 2 ramps on the whole of the UK motorway network where you join in the fast lane. That's one of them, and the other one is just there on the other side of the road. So you kind of joining on the fast lane in a motorway does seem a little bit insane. That's quite mad the way Glasgow's got a motorway running right slap bang through the centre of it there. You know, like within spitting distance of the Sucky Street, it's a main place. Which is good, I suppose. It's good for getting into the centre of town quickly, I guess. But then I've got to go down the M77, which is, I'd be interested to see, it's not raining today. It's overcast, but in Scotland, if it's not actually pissing it down with rain, it's nice weather. So it's a nice day. It's a lovely day. Yeah, you get a wee bit of view and stuff. But there's a bit that always rains. So I'll be interested to see if it always rains here, kind of like a windswept moor bit just after when you leave Glasgow, and it's just kind of like, it's always all bleak, windy and dark and raining, so that'll be fun. And a massive hill, which isn't too bad when you've got an unloaded car, but I've done it a few times, like towing a trailer or something like that, or driving one of the works vans. I used to be a house removals guy, and I was driving the big truck, and it was like, boy, is that hill. It's not that steep, but it's so long, and you're sitting there like trying to stay in third, so I go into second floor and then get it back into third, then second and third, just trying to get up this hill while everyone's zooming past you. All the cars and trucks that have big enough engines. Yeah. So here we go, there's a Mitchell Library. A bit of view. My pal used to live in that flat. Just the motorway was just like a constant noise, and you kind of get used to lots of horn peeping, and I don't know. So I guess that's city life. Yeah, I think it's actually brightening up a bit. It's almost pleasant. So this is the Kingston Bridge. Oh, I don't know if I haven't actually got to the point of pointing out the Statue of Liberty, because apparently there's 3 statues of liberty in the world. There's one, the one you all know about, the big massive one in New York. There's one in Paris, I think. And then there's that one there, on the painted gold on top of that building. So why it's there, I can't remember, and I don't think it was always there. Right? Statue of Liberty. We're in New York. Right, I'm taking the N77. Doing south. Not that south. Yeah, so this base sounds interesting. To be honest, I didn't really, but as soon as it was an email he sent me, the guy doesn't Facebook, and it was it just says the pickup line, the preview of the message was swap a t-shirt for a bass, and then I kind of looked at it and he said something about it. He'd bought a scratch plate for it that didn't fit. I think he said it was a sort of jazz bass. I really don't know. I mean, to be honest, I'm doing it just for laughing to get into this. I'm sure those t-shirts cost me like $7.50 each. So, and I'm not having to pay postage. I'm selling for a tenner if you want a t-shirt. Posted. So I'm sure I'll be able to get something out of it. It might be a bucky caster or an iron brew base. I don't see why I can't use them for the trade Tuesday. It's just that there's certain models of guitar which, if you get like a boring one, basically, if I'm picking up like a black Strat with a white scratch plate, it's not super interesting, whereas painting it bucky colours does enhance it up to, and obviously putting some sort of stupid switch in. I always do that to make it have secret things. The latest thing I'm going to try and do now is I'm really liking my coil ladder 25 switch, or basically just the coil ladder series parallel. I've used the coil ladder term a few times, and it's kind of the actual switch is evolving. But basically the idea is you add in an extra single coil pickup that's reverse wound and reverse polarity from everything else in the guitar, and then you add it in series or add it in parallel, which gives you all the, if it's a Strat, all 5 original sounds, and then the same 5 original sounds but with the extra coil added in as a humbucker, so you get 5 humbuckers and an extra 5 sounds where you've got it in parallel, which gives you a sort of hum cancelling sound, so you get 15 sounds out of one switch. The problem with the switch is it needs to be a slightly fancy switch. Either needs an on-off, an on-on-on switch, which are expensive, or I did it using a 3-way Telecaster switch. But my next one I'm thinking I'm going to try and do it is I've got rotary switches, so I would ditch the middle tone pot. This is me kind of talking about 2 Buckmaster casters that are in the garage, have been painted and I've not assembled them yet, a left-handed one and a right-handed one. So I'm going to use a rotary switch, a 4-position rotary, and that'll give me, position 1 will just be a Strat, position 2 will be of the 5 humbuckers, position 3 will be the 5 hum cancelling, and position 4, I've not really decided exactly what to do with that. I could make it one of the phase options, so I could get like either 5 hum cancelling out of phase sounds, or 5 hum cancelling hum bucking out of phase sounds. Either way, it's going to run in it being a 20 sound guitar with just one rotary knob, and it should be quite easy to operate. Unfortunately, by doing that, I'm not going to be able to use up any of my high pass filter caps that I bought bags of by mistake. So it'll just have a volume, the rotary switch, and a tone, rather than being the last 2 coil ladders I did had a volume, a high pass filter and a low pass filter, and I made the high pass filter a push-pull, which gives you phase. But if I'm using this rotary switch, it should give you, it'll give me 5 phase sounds. I assuming I can do it. I mean, no one's ever done this before, but I think there's enough terminals and stuff to do that. It'd probably be a bit easier. I'm not really that sure that one of the basically the reason I put the phase switch in, it wasn't through usefulness, it was the fact that I could put in a £3 push-pull pot and add 10 sounds to this guitar. So I did it because surely having 10 sounds, even if you never use them, having them there, you never know, a situation might come up where you just need something a bit different, especially if you're recording, and you're thinking, oh, I really want could really do with another rhythm guitar track sort of thing, but rather than make it sound like the previous ones, make it a pure phased one, and then you can, because you're starting off all the different frequencies, you can make it cut through the mix a little bit better. Should be fun. Yeah, so I think that'll probably do for part 1. Be interested to see what this bass is. I've no idea. The guy also said somebody wants to, he's up for talking about 2 things. One of them was a Variax guitar, which I wish I knew more about. I do have one. I looked it out. I meant to put strings on it. It hung on my wall for a week and I forgot about it. I can't remember what the other thing was. I can't remember if it was something I knew about. The thing with the Variax is there's a whole load of shenanigans it does that I've never even looked at. I do actually have the cable to connect it to a computer, I think. But I think what you can do is, because it's modelling, it comes like preloaded with 5 times maybe 30 sounds or something like that, and it's got like when you look through it, there's a if you go to the website, you can see what they are, and it's like, you get Strat modes and Tele modes and Les Paul modes and all these things where you get 5 different sounds on each one. The only ones I've, to be honest, ever really used are the sort of acoustic sounds, the sitar and the banjo and the sort of silly ones. But I think you can go into maybe a bit old technology now. Sorry, it's a 50, and I'm doing 53 miles now. That's what the beat was. So I've got 23 miles to go before I get to a roundabout. That'll be fun. And this is me just, is this the big hill? I think this is the big hill, so I may as well stay talking through the big hill and just see how much of a big hill it is. to a 60 now, so you get more of a chance of running up this hill. Which is fine when you're in a relatively lightly loaded car. And the Mighty Panda, although it does only have a 1.3 litre engine, diesel, it's got a reasonable amount of grunt. You do start to notice a little bit when you get 4 folk in the car. I see there, see it wasn't actually that long a hill. Okay, there you go. I'm almost up it. I'm noticing I'm having to push the accelerator a little bit harder to get up it. And then now we're out into the wilderness. We have left civilization behind. Yeah, some fun sort of. Whatever. I don't think I was really talking about anything else. I was talking about the hill, wasn't I? Yeah, so if anyone's wanting to trade anything, I need to have a wee look and a little bit of hodgepodge. Once I get myself to a solid start, I've got a few things I could sell, because I sold that the Sakai guitar, so I got kind of money for that, and I bought those West tones. I've got quite a lot of work to do on that, and the other West tones, not really that hard, it just needs work, because it's someone spray painted the outside of the body. They've kind of tried to make it, I don't know what their thinking was. It's like they tried to make it sunburst by painting the outside, but the guitar is candy apple red, and the paint they've used a sort of dull red, so it kind of looks, I can't really imagine how it could ever have looked good. I'm assuming that it's maybe, it doesn't look chipped around the outside, I don't know. Anyway, the West Tone was a fantastic guitar. Well, the pink one is, and out of the two of them, the red one was the guy's favourite one, because that was the one that played. The frets on it were relatively clean. It was in string. It was in tune. The strings were less than 10 years old, whereas the pink one, I think, like some people are maybe a little bit insecure playing a pink guitar, so I think the pink one was kind of like pure, nah, it's a bit poofy. I'll not bother with that. That's probably incredibly on PC, but hey, I did grow up watching 70s and 80s TV shows, so that was acceptable back in the day. I ain't no homophobe. Right, so it's looking like I'm going to fail the getting this video done in its entirety by 7 o'clock tonight, so what I think I might do is just upload the first bit, the first 10-minute bit, stitch this bit that I'm talking to now saying come back for part 2, which I've already recorded, and then I've started talking about time travel again and it started to get confusing. Anyway, yes, so I went to Troon, and I'm now almost home, and I'm now thinking I probably don't have enough time to upload it, so this might be a 2-parter. So part 1 or something will probably be going out at 7, and then it might be an extra hour or something like that, and I'll just stick the rest of it on, including a little bit of shopping for pants and noodle recommendations, which is probably a great title for a video in its own right. Rock on, catch you later, and keep rocking.